Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D, and it's the 1964 and the 1965 United States one-dime coins, the Roosevelt dimes. These are the years the United States transitioned from the silver dimes, which were around from 1946 until 1964, to the Clad dimes, which began in 1964 and have continued through today. So let's take a look at these dimes. When you look at the front of the 1964 dimes, you can't tell what mint it is. The mint marks on the 1964 dimes are on the back. We have two of them here, and they're not the cleanest dimes in the world, but they are worth quite a bit. They're 90% silver, 10% copper. It's Franklin Roosevelt facing to the left, Liberty in front of him, and God We Trust down here. At the very bottom, you see there's a 1964 for the date, and then there's a J and an S for John Sinek. If we tip this coin up on its edge, you'll see that it doesn't have the copper center of the modern coins. This is a silver coin. It has 118 reeds around the outside of it. And then when we get it onto the back, you'll see that it is the torch, and the torch with the oak branch on one side, the olive branch on the other. And you can see the olives, and you can actually see acorns there too. Oh, and when we magnify it up, you see where the mint mark is. Right there at the bottom of the torch is a D for the Denver Mint. In 1964, they only made this coin at two mints. No S Mint coins in 1964. They made it at the Denver Mint, and they made it at the San Francisco Mint. Around the top of the coin it says United States of America. Down here at the bottom it says 1 dime, and through the center it says E pluribus unum. When you want to grade these coins, you look at the torch and you look at these bands. This band up top going horizontal, and this band down the bottom. In the bottom band, you can't really even see that there is one. So this is going to be a very low graded coin. This coin here, not much better, a little bit of coloring on it. If we flip it over, we see that this coin does not have a mint mark down here, and that means it's from the Philadelphia Mint. At the Philadelphia Mint in 1964, they made 929 million of these coins. At the Denver Mint, they made 1.4 billion. Between the two mints, they made 2.3 billion coins. The best Philadelphia coin they found so far is a Mint State 68 with the full bands and everything going across it. It's worth about $8,500. 4 double die reverses. So when you get this coin, one of the things you want to do is take a good look at the lettering on here to see if you see any doubling. And sometimes when you're using a camera like this, it looks like there's doubling, but then when you get up close, you see that there's not. These aren't great letters, but they aren't doubled. There are 4 double die reverse versions of the Philadelphia coin, and those are worth between $700 and $1,000 if you get them in good condition. Denver coin, they found 2 Mint State 68s with a D on them, and those are worth about $8,000. The proof coins from 1964 were made at the Philadelphia Mint, and obviously this is not one. At the Philadelphia Mint, they made 4 million proof coins. What they'll look like is they'll just be this kind of shiny. This is a 65, but if you get a proof coin, you'll know it from 64 because it'll be this kind of shiny and it won't have any letter on the back. And of the 4 million proof coins they made 2 so far they found at a proof 70 deep cameo, and those are worth $5,200 each. So very expensive coins. We should also add that many of the 1964 coins, maybe more than half of them, were made in 1965. In 1965, though, they came out with the Clad coins, and that's what this coin is right here. And you can see the copper on the inside. These are about 93% copper, about 7% nickel. The outside is a copper-nickel blend. The inside is 100% copper. This is a pretty shiny one. In 1965, they didn't put any mint marks on any of the coins. There's no P, there's no D, there's no S. Not on the front, not on the back. So it wasn't until 1968 that the mint marks came back to the U.S. dimes. It says Liberty in front of Roosevelt. Everything here is pretty much the same. They made 1.7 billion dimes, and they made 3 that they found so far that are Mint State 68 with the full bands, and they're worth $3,850. Let's take a look at the bands on this. Now this is what a full bands version would look like. See how the bands go straight across and straight across on the bottom? You'd like a little bit more separation there between the bands on the bottom, like a spacing between that goes between the two horizontal bands, but this is a very, very good version of the coin, and you can see how the leaves on the acorn, you can actually see some details on the acorn, much better. You can see some scratches and dents. This is probably not going to get up to a full bands version, and it turns out that only about 100 full bands versions have ever been graded. So you're going to need the lines going down, you're going to need space between the bands here, and you're going to need to take it to PCGS or one of the other grading companies to get it graded. They also made another coin. This is a SMS coin from 1965. They made special mint sets. They didn't make mint sets, they didn't make proof sets, but they made what they call an SMS, or special mint set. And it's really, really, really hard to tell the difference between that and a really good 1965 dime. You can see the shine on this one, and you can see the shine on this one. This one on the left is a special mint set one. This one on the right, we believe, is a regular coin from 1965, and it's almost impossible to tell the difference. How do we know the difference? Well, we know the difference for this one because we took it out of the actual special mint set, which had been damaged. So this, we kept it separate. So we know this is a special mint set coin. Flip it over and see if we can see any differences on it. Pretty much the same on the back. You see that it's a little bit muted here because of the way that they polish the special mint set coins. It makes them a little softer and a little bit less detail on them. And you can actually, if you tip it up, you can actually see some of the polish marks on there. And I'll show you on the back of this one, it's slightly different. If we tip this one up, we don't see the polish marks and stuff on it. We tip this one up, we do, right up in here. They found 14 so far at a SS68 cameo, not deep cameo, and that's another thing you'll notice about the special mint sets. Real hard to find a deep cameo in special mint sets. The best ones they found so far have been a SS68 cameo, and those go for about $2,750. In terms of the best full bands, they've only found 2 full bands ever from the special mint set. So let's get back to all the coins. We have the 65, the 64, and the 64, and we transition from silver to copper, nickel clad copper. If you can't tell them because they're not clean, they both have the same number of bands on them. This has 118 bands, so does this one. But you can weigh them. The clad coins weigh 2.68 grams. The silver coins weigh 2.5 grams. So you can always tell the difference just by putting them on a scale. All right, that's all we have today from the Big D Coin channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.